Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is extremely, extremely important. It is about what people are doing wrong, and it's made simple for first graders. First graders should understand for the most part what I'm saying, especially when I put an emphasis on the fact that it's important. And this is vital. Okay? I'm going to say some things people don't want to hear, but know that it's right for me to express my freedom of speech, what I actually believe, what I know to be true, and what I know would help society. So let's get into this. The corporate state is trying to confuse people, and we will call them set, as they are trying to get people to settle, right? They set the stage, they set people up, okay? And they're trying to get people to settle and be upset if it works in their favor, right? To throw them off. When you do enough research, you see that they worship Zeus, whose Egyptian counterpart is Set, and his Middle Eastern counterpart is Baal from the Bible. Their main tactic is group confusion and organized psychological tactics, right? Set is a deity of trickery-based rape first and foremost, okay? And of storms and confusion, okay? And of psychology, has some kind of magic staff, right? A scepter, and so on and so forth. And you see this being used by the Pope and other religious people as well. So again, their main tactic is group confusion and organized psychological tactics. It is important to remember that all people who do not rally to me have chosen to have a moral, mental, romantic, and spiritual deficiency disorder. Okay, this is a very controversial argument, I know, but bear with me, you'll see that the only possibility is that I'm right. One cannot cheat me out of my rightful place as leader and then say that they are moral or say that they have mental clarity. This is a core argument of mine. Okay? If somebody is more righteous than everyone else, okay, and he's righteous, right? Just not just less evil than everyone else, but actually righteous. Okay, you can't cheat him out of his rightful place to lead, because the leader's core characteristics, if he's a good leader, is righteousness and justice, right? Morality, the moral warrior spirit. You can't cheat him out of his rightful place, okay, and then say that you're moral and be right, or that you have mental clarity and you're right, because you're not thinking straight. Why would you cheat this guy out of his rightful place, okay? And there's people who do dumb shit, like they change my voice and so on and so forth, and they play stupid. Playing stupid at the most important time in history? Would you play stupid if someone was about to kidnap your kid and eat him? How much more at the most important time in human history? Why do you people put your family before God, and then your family grows up to be evil anyway? Very silly, very foolish. That's a lack of morality. That's a lack of moral priorities, right? Moral prioritization. It's a lack of moral maturity, a lack of moral courage, a lack of true compassion and empathy and sense, a lack of moral wisdom. So let's look at the three possibilities here so we know for sure that I'm right. Number one, people who follow me and accept that not letting go of universal pinpointed moral precision is greater than life itself. It's more important to try to be morally precise than to live a long life. So not letting go of universal pinpointed moral precision is greater than life itself. And I made a video explaining what moral precision is and so on and so forth. So let's keep going. Two, idiots who may or may not face the corporate state by themselves and may be in seemingly uncontrolled groups. They refuse to accept that cheating me out of my right to lead is pure evil. So these people separate from society, okay? And they may or may not be by themselves, right? There might be a small community of them or some kind of group of them, okay? But they're cheating me out of my right to lead, okay? So they refuse to accept that cheating me out of my right to lead is pure evil because they're just standing for their complex. They're not standing for what is precisely right to the best of anyone's logic. Instead, they're standing for their complex. You know, say they're gay and they want a gay world order. They're feminist, they're conservative, they're, in some cult, if there's some idolatry, what have you. They're not standing for what is right, okay? Because they're cheating me, and whoever doesn't gather with me scatters. One who's slack in upholding moral precision is brother to the one who destroys moral precision, the groups who destroy moral precision. They're in bed with them, wittingly or otherwise. Point number 3, people who obey the corporate state, they're evil. That is the highest form of evil. When you're directly obeying those people who have organized their immoral and narcissistic control of society and of the planet, who cheat me on the highest level of cheating me, the most despicable level. Okay, that's the third group. So again, first group, people obey me. Second group, people who do not obey me, who do not give me my right to lead. Okay, and they're doing something by themselves, probably as a controlled opposition. Okay, they might be in groups that seem to be uncontrolled, but they're controlled in that evil controls them. Their movement is evil. What they're trying to do is evil. Even if they're less evil than another evil. Okay, I'll give you an example. If somebody wants to rape your kid every day of the week and another person says they only want to rape your kid one day of the week, okay? And then there's me and I say they shouldn't be raped at all. Do you team up with the person who says one day of the week? No, that's evil. Do you pretend that that person is superior to me and that movement is superior to what I'm trying to do? No, because that's evil. Because you're insisting on evil when there's an option to be good. Now, if I'm gone and everyone doesn't have the ability to be good because they're not a valid natural leader, okay, and that's going to be the case after I die, then they're just insisting on evil and people should stop breeding. They should stop, maybe even kill themselves because they're just evil. Why continue evil? That's evil. Okay? Straightforward. Now let's ask some key questions here that overkill this. Key question. A, if one doesn't draw the line at not cheating me out of my right to lead, then where exactly do they draw it and why? So if you don't say, hey, that's where I draw the line. You're not going to cheat the most righteous person that ever lived at the most important time in history. If you don't draw the line there, where do you draw it? B, I am the top martial artist ever possible as proven by character and my top martial arts outdoor sparring challenge that I've made since December 20th, 2013. How do other people compare to me? So those people are arguing, okay, what's so special about him? Are you the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon who's the top martial artist ever possible? We consider evolution. We consider moral intensity. We consider focus, moral intensity, universal pinpoint, and moral precision. We consider the most important martial art challenge ever made, and they could ever possibly be made due to tech, breeding, and ill-gotten gains, and generational cheating, generational manipulation, generational control breeding. Okay, so how do they compare to me? C, if someone breeding when the groups that they are part of denied the righteous a fair world to breed in, and often denied the righteous kids of their own with suitable helpers is fair, then why? If it's fair to keep breeding when you are those people who are slack in your work, who are parts of groups and spirits and movements and whatever entities or organizations, okay, and groupings that denied the righteous a fair world to breed in. You didn't insist on moral precision. As a result, no government is ruled with moral precision. As a result, I'm being shunned for being morally precise. You denied me and everyone who's righteous that ever lived a fair world to reproduce in, which often led to them being denied kids of their own and suitable helpers to breed those kids. Okay? So if you breeding is fair, when you did these things and you denied the righteous, their opportunity to breed, on a planet that's worth breeding in, then why? D, if organized efforts to induce confusion and madness aren't the worst rape-related actions, then what are? If your organized efforts to induce confusion and madness, so people sleep with people they wouldn't otherwise, if they knew about moral precision and truly appreciated it, okay, including, the drug problem, the substances in the food and the air, alcoholism, prescription drugs, what have you, okay? If doing this in an organized manner to create a mass rape by deception society isn't the worst form of rape-related actions and activities, then what are? Okay, so I'll end by saying, this. We'll get into part 2. Part 2 is going to be very good, so is part 3. Okay, so I'll end by saying this. One common description of people that are evil that comes close to the actual moral, mental, spiritual, romantic deficiency disorder that I have described and come up with myself is narcissistic disorder. Okay, they talk about grandiose narcissists, okay, they talk about malignant narcissists, okay, covert narcissists, and communal narcissists. People like to put themselves out there. So grandiose narcissists, just are the most, they emphasize thinking they're important. They say, look at my artwork, my house, my car. Oh, I'm so special, with no higher cost. They're not making a moral supremacy argument that is valid. They're making just an arrogant, materialistic dog argument. Okay? Then there's a malignant guy. They just lie and cheat and they're lying left and right. They're cheating. They're like very dark energy narcissists. Okay? Then there's covert narcissists. They operate behind the scenes. Okay? They do covert little nonsense. You can look into it more. I'll do another video about narcissism because there's longer explanations. Then there's communal narcissists. They put themselves out there and they say, look, I'm feeding the kids, and they care about themselves and not the kids they're feeding. Hey, today we're saving the whales. Today I helped my friend paint his house. And they want some rich guy to go, you're such a good person, and shower them with gifts, kind of thing. And so there's that type. All right. Narcissists are known to do 9 activities. Okay. Someone described it as 9 activities, but they do more than that. But okay, and one could argue it's all just a variation of these things. 1, they withhold. It's like a chick who dressed like a sexually promiscuous slut who only sleeps with scum. She's like, if you don't give me something that a whore, witch, devil, bitch, would desire, then I'm not going to sleep with you. But I'll sleep with all these rich dogs, right? So that's a form of withholding. Okay, sexually suggestive, sexually provocative, provoking. Okay. But this is not the provoking I'm talking about when I say they're provoking me, but that too. They're provoking me with racial provocation, with threats, and so on and so forth. We'll get to that. Raging, right? So they're raging against me. That's part of the provocation. They're raging against God. They're raging against me. They're directing it at me. Okay? Having passive-aggressive sulking. They start acting like a baby in a passive-aggressive way when they don't get their way. Using public humiliation, right? They've done things to prevent me from having a car that's clean a lot. They spray it with some kind of substance in the air using technology and dirt, okay? And newsflash, these narcissistic disorder videos where people describe them have millions of views. Okay, Dr. Ramani and others have large followings of people. It's commonly acknowledged in mental health that narcissistic disorder is going on. And if they're using public humiliation, quite often they're having other people assist them. So gang stalking is proven. Next point is use smear campaigns that are usually assisted. When people smear you, it's usually other people that smear you. Think about being in high school when someone says, ew, I heard that person is dirty, or I heard this person doesn't take showers, or whatever it would be, right? And then if other people, they start gossiping, right? They're assisting them. And some people catch wind of what's going on and get a kick out of it, right? So they use smear campaigns, and often in groups. They menace and use threats, right? Subtle or otherwise. They're menacing you. And often they try to pretend that you're crazy. So they provoke you and threaten you, and then when you start screaming at them, they say, hey, this guy did it. Think about little kids in class where someone's flicking your ear, and then you turn around and you push them and say, stop it immediately. Say, hey. The teacher says, hey. And you say, I didn't do anything. The person pretends they didn't do anything when they provoked the screaming and the pushing. You see what I'm saying? That's narcissistic tactics that you see in children, right? They're developing that narcissistic personality. Okay, they flaunt their new lives, right? They say, when I broke up with you, I started dating this rich guy, right? This is something they pointed out, not me, but yeah, people do that. They use money as a weapon, okay? You can imagine the ways they do that. And also, they say, I told you so in an evil way. So they say, you're better off with us, huh? And then fucking you end up getting robbed and raped in the ghetto or something, or abused in the city. And I told you so. You should have just sucked our fucking dicks and teamed up with us. But now look at you. You see what I'm saying? They're sick. Sick sons of bitches. Thank you.